Look at this dude. Bro, what is this? The Alex Kochia glasses? Alex, please stop wearing those glasses. Fingerless gloves? Calls himself Prodigy? Dude, I can hear you. I'm right here. Shut up, dork.
Is it worth it?
Hello, nerds. Time to read the card. Okay, fucking Prodigy. Here we go. 3 energy, 4 power card that says unreveal. If this is in the back row, copy the text of the card in front of it. Overall impressions of Prodigy. Can you tell so far that I don't like this card? I don't like this card. So long explanation made as short as I think I can make it. There are quite a few variations of this type of card that exist in the game already, namely like copying abilities of some sort. Just something that copies the ability of something else or repeats it. And I feel like this is on par with Grandmaster, so on the lower end of good in that scenario. And if you'll recall, people were freaking out about Grandmaster, saying, oh my god, it's gonna be broken. And I get it. When you look at Grandmaster, you look at Prodigy, they seem like cards that you can take advantage of and be like, dude, this is really great in a perfect scenario. But that's the problem. Perfect scenario. Nothing is ever the perfect scenario. In Grandmaster, when it came out, it was trash. People were hyping it. Now it's used in like one competitive deck, and it's the most cuttable card in that deck because you already have Frigga, and Frigga basically does what Grandmaster does for that deck, at least better. Also, I do want to say, if you see other creators hyping this card up or saying it's going to be great, be a little skeptical, because in my opinion, this might be harsh, but I think they're either saying that because they just want views, they want like a reason to make like a thumbnail that says like the new era of Prodigy.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
You know what I'm talking about. The new era. Everything's the new era. Fuck off. This is the perfect example of a wait and see card. So, like I said, be skeptical of content creators who are, you know, being like, this card is going to be super sick. Maybe they're right, but I don't think it's a good thing to tell your viewers to buy this on day one when it's clearly not a day one purchase card. All right, first up in the hot take section, we got Nurix saying best card this season. I think not. I mean, Surge isn't like a super duper high bar, but that card is played in a lot of decks now because it's just generally decent in whatever deck you put it in. This card is not. So if it ends up being powerful, yeah, it might be the best card of the season. But all I'm saying is we've seen a dozen cards like this before that seem like they're going to be good, but end up being trash. So I gotta disagree with you here, Nurix. You got Jamie D. Galley saying, all I know is that he made a great music video that samples Cool Keith. Now we all know that Jamie's like a 50-year-old dude because this is some old shit. Don't know what Jamie's talking about. Basically, Prodigy, the band, pioneers in electronic music. Go check them out. I'm sure you know their songs. This song is actually a sample of like a Cool Keith, like early 90s rap where he says, change my pitch up, I believe. So thank you, Jamie, for the musical history. You got George Heron here saying pretty much what I've said already, but I just wanted to put this in here to validate my opinions. Says Grandmaster Mystique or Iron Lad with extra steps. Yep, trash IMO. Probably. Can copy activate abilities, which is niche, super niche. I think there's like 5 total in the game, but I think the setup for it is too restrictive, for sure. Yeah, Joseph saying cope card that something something something. Yep, it's cope card. Got Sam too saying there's so many possibilities with this card, but can't really determine where it will fit in. Yeah, I think that's the problem. And it's a 3-drop, so Surfer players are probably cooking something. I'm definitely getting Prodigy for science, of course. Well, someone I made fun of their glasses earlier is a Surfer player, and you shouldn't play his decks. Don't do it. Now, as far as getting it for science goes, well, science used to be fucking dangerous because the first person to start doing something probably almost killed themselves a bunch because equipment to handle their experiments hadn't been made yet. You see where I'm going with this? Let other people do the dangerous science, and then you can come in and do your own science when it's safe, when you know more of the data. Be strong, Sam. Be strong, buddy. Don't do it. Got Volt Slasher saying would be pretty good in a bullseye deck. Not 100% sure why, other than the fact that it's just like another Frigga, I guess, that has like a little bit more, I don't know, requirements to it. Sure, I guess you could replace Grandmaster with this card. I don't think that's going to be the best upgrade. Could also be interesting. Oh, I guess it could copy Morbius or Collector as well. I still probably wouldn't get it for that deck. Could also be interesting with Doom 2099 to double your Doombot creation. Maybe. You might be onto something there. Easily could go in Thanos 2 for more stone utility. No. So if that were true, people would be playing Grandmaster, Absorbing Man, Iron Lad, Esme Cuckoo, and Mystique in Thanos decks. Because there's plenty of stuff to copy with all of those cards, actually. Now I think about it, kind of wild, and no one's doing that. Heavy Hitter saying, I think this card will be awkward, but I think it can be helped by move cards shifting into locations to help Prodigy get the slot he wants. That seems like a lot of work. I play Marvel Snap for fun, not to have fucking mental triathlon to get one mediocre effect off. Wasp is a natural 0 cost, so she could help as well, I guess. Maybe even some Surge synergy if she can turn a 1 cost into a 0 cost for that same reason. At this point, you're saying a bunch of like awesome scenarios might make this card good. I think that says a lot. The question I can't answer is what ability do you want 2 of in the same location? That's a good point. And finally, we got Aegon. This feels like a clunkier Mystique IMO. Yes, maybe you could use it to chain activate abilities. Why is this the second activate ability thing I've seen? What are we doing? We copying Aranya and Scarlet Spider? What? All right, on to the good and bad. Why do I think the things I think? The good here, powerful effect in the proper deck. Yeah, I will admit that this, with like a bunch of ongoing cards, does seem intriguing and probably will be powerful when it does the right thing. But, excuse me, we already have Moonstone for that and Mystique. So is this actually worth it? I don't know. Ooh, gotta crack the back. Next thing, 3 energy for this seems decent. Basically, I'm just saying, like, if this were cost any more, it'd be absolutely unplayable. And if this costs less, it would be better. Next thing, goes into multiple types of linear decks. I've kind of touched on this already, but any deck that would want this is basically going to be hyper specific on what it wants to do in a given game. Linear. So yeah, this is probably only going to go into like combo decks or decks that are just okay if they play them, okay if they don't. Like ongoing decks, or I don't know, some weird sort of on reveal deck, or maybe an Ajax deck. I doubt it. That deck doesn't have many slots to play with. On to the bad. Not good with many cheap cards. My point here is that cheap cards generally have a weaker effect than more expensive cards. So if you're doing a 3/4 that copies a cheap effect, you're not really getting that much out of it, because there are other 3-drops you could probably just play instead and get more power, more value out of it. But this links to my second point here that says has to be played on turn 6 with expensive cards. That's because if it's not that great with cheap cards and you try to put this in a deck with expensive cards that are good to copy with this, you are either going to want to do like magic stuff, which I'm not the biggest fan of, or you're going to have to play it on turn 6 with another 3-drop to copy whatever it is you just played. And on top of that, you got to go like, if you wanted to copy the thing in the left front, you got to play your cards exactly that way. If you want to copy it to the right front, you have to have it be the last card you play in that lane. It's a lot, dude. That's a lot. Fuck that. And the last thing here, first and second point results in this being awkward. Do I really need to explain myself here? There are so many scenarios, so many small things that will just change the game, like locations, just a fucking extra squirrel or a rock on your side of the board that just screws everything up. There are way too many things that add on top of this card's difficulty to make perfect, and no game ever goes perfect. So I think this card is going to be fucking awkward. Example decks. I just went with safe options here. First deck, an ongoing deck that just happens to run Prodigy. I mean, Moonstone is good here, so is a 3/4 Moonstone sort of good? I think so. Copying Captain Carter would be pretty sick. Copying Captain America is just kind of always sick. Copying Goliath is sick. Copying Ant-Man's actually pretty good too. You're getting like a 3/8 out of it. Copying Moonstone is super duper sick. See, everything it copies here except for like Captain America and Echo is quite nice. And I think this is the safest place to play Prodigy. Second thing here is a combo deck where it's going to be really powerful, which is a Tribunal combo deck, which I probably am going to make a video about here soon, just not with Prodigy in it, but it has been doing quite well. And I think Prodigy is just going to be like strictly a decent card in this deck. Recommendation. So, I mean, you kind of know what I'm going to say here. What did I write down? Okay. For the packs. If you don't have Goliath and Strange Supreme, and you have the rest of the cards, that's the only way I would consider opening packs for Prodigy on day one. Tokens. 6k tokens to get Prodigy. If you're a fucking psycho, go for it. But if you're not, wait and see. I don't think there's any harm in waiting and seeing. If I'm totally wrong and I look like an asshole, you know, remind me in the comment section in a couple of days. But I'm not gonna be, because I've never been wrong. I started saying that as a joke, but I actually haven't been wrong about a card since Legion, and that was like 4 years ago. So it's a pretty long streak. Okay, bye-bye.